Hello guys, welcome. Hello guys, welcome biggity big to another video. So this might be a brief one. Who knows? It's not a very long essay either. But we weren't all fortunate enough to be born into intergenerational, estates of like millionaires, multimillionaires, multi-billionaires. So for the majority of humanity, if you want certain material rewards, material things, material experiences in this life, you will probably have to facilitate them yourself. Meaning, you'll probably have to figure out a way to make enough money in order to have those experiences. Because your parents, you know, like you just weren't fortunate enough to be born to rich parents who would leave you uh, a $20 million company when you turned 25. So this could be a good thing or a bad thing depending on how you view it, right? Because it gives you the opportunity to become the kind of person who would build a $20 million company depending on how soon you start, or other factors like your drive, your ambition, your hunger, your intelligence, and how much of a propensity you have to just do constant research, refinement, and learning. So, anyway, without wasting too much time, this is today's essay. You see, sooner or later, you will have to sacrifice at least 10 years to get your dream life. It, so you might as well make it as soon as possible, right? There is no such thing as too young. If you have the idea, you can start working on it today. Can you imagine what would have happened to Elon Musk if his parents had told him, no, you were too young to create your first game and sell it? Then he never would have gotten that taste of entrepreneurship, which led to him becoming what, the richest, or one of the richest men in the world today, at least publicly, right? So I don't understand what's wrong with children making money. I'm not encouraging child labor or anything here, but if you have a child who has the desire and clearly has the intellect to set up systems in place so that they can start earning an income from a young age, then why would you want to discourage that because you fear that, oh, it might distract him from his studies? Like, isn't the whole point of sending your children to school for them to go and get skills that will eventually lead to them becoming self-sufficient? So if your child figures out a way to become self-sufficient at a young age, but it differs from the traditional path of, oh, waste your life for 12 years in this formal education system and then possibly another 4, and then maybe someone will hire you and then they'll give you money. you know I don't understand. I actually saw uh, I forgot this dude's name, but he made a video about how black YouTube has gotten worse, and then he also made a video afterwards about how there are teenage influencers who sound eerily like Andrew Tate and the Hamzas because they've been watching those videos by those guys, and those kids were inspired enough to start making their own online businesses. And not only that, they've already achieved some kind of level of success. They're already making money online. That's that's still something that's out of reach for most people. Like, most people still haven't figured out a way to make money like truly online. You meet the person online, the transaction happens online, the service or product delivery happens online. Literally, like, making money from your without having to leave your house. Many people still haven't cracked that. And yet you have a child here who's like, now I want to figure this out for myself. I don't want to keep relying on my parents for too long. Then you want to discourage that? It sounds like just limiting someone's potential for you to do that, especially your own child. It doesn't seem wise to try and stunt their growth in any way simply because their ideas differ from what you think is correct, particularly if they are already making headway with their own ideas. So I was telling my little brother this when he came to visit for the school holidays. that you're not too young to start. I mean, he was here just watching TV all day, and then whenever he was bored, he would just become a nuisance. So I was asking him, yo, why don't you at least start doing some of the things that would drive you towards? Because he said he wants to become a basketball player with a YouTube channel. So I'm like, okay, why don't you research basketball? Why don't you practice basketball? Why don't you make a few videos and see how you look on camera and try and get better at that? But even though he's 9 and he understands what he wants in life, he's still 9. So he doesn't yet have the mental discipline to be like, okay, I'm bored, so let me be proactive with my time instead of wasting it watching Skibidi Toilet. He doesn't know it yet, but he already understands personal branding. That being an athlete and having an online influence would compound his results so much more greatly than if he was just one or the other. Like, right, if David Goggins had never been in the military, but he had always been he still went and became the kind of disciplined man he is today, just enduring all the hard trials except the hell weeks, except being, is he a Marine? I don't quite remember. So, if David Goggins had only been an author who documented his struggles with discipline without that aspect of having been in the military, it wouldn't have been as impactful to his message, his story. So, the fact that he has multiple things going for him, that's what like compounded his influence exponentially. Man, I still don't understand the difference between those two, but fine. You see, most men are broke and down during our teens and our 20s. But we have energy and we have good bodies and we have vitality, optimism, the light inside your eyes from not having yet seen just how truly dark it is out here. But as we get older, we get wiser and we get wealthier, but we lose our energy and we get out of shape because we don't abandon those childish, destructive habits that we picked up in our youth, like eating a whole bunch of junk food, binge watching anime series, smoking, drinking, chasing women, who don't even want us because we are broken, dumb young men. But if throughout your 20s you can just keep your body and your energy intact, or even better, improve those two, while allowing your wisdom and wealth to build as a result of like you trying various things in business, in your career, in life in general, then you will become an outlier in your 30s. And those are just what, two, four aspects of a fully realized man. And you become even more rare as time passes and you keep building these things. Because how many men are masculine, are rich, fit, intelligent, good looking, fashionable, and have a strong network of other capable people like them? There aren't many, like at any age. If you have those things or some of those things at a young age, you're an outlier. But even if you have them in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, you're still an outlier because most men your age just don't have all of those things in one place, right? These things take time to build, and your teens and your 20s are the time to be building all of those things. I mean, sure, you can do it later on, once you turn 30 and you've already made mistakes that like really severely altered the trajectory of your life. But if you front load all of that work and you just decide to do it while you are young, then you only have to maintain it for the rest of your life. And the beauty of it is when you do these things while you're young, they permeate into your personality more thoroughly. It just becomes who you are. You just become the guy who reads, who studies, who researches the stock market. Because, like, what else are you gonna, like, if you are a dude and you've grown up being influenced by gangsters, then of course that's gonna permeate into your personality very deeply, right? No matter how much you grow and develop as a person, and even if you end up leaving or becoming less fascinated with the gang life, there will still be aspects of your personality that show that you were raised in that environment. So similarly, if you raise yourself in an environment that allows you to thrive and prosper and become the most peak version of yourself, then of course, by the time you achieve that peak version of yourself, it's unlikely that you are going to start declining and start doing stupid things, because the the dark side or the dark aspects, the things that are destructive, naturally no longer appeal to you that much. The things that appeal to you are naturally just things that build you: reading, socializing, um, exercising, eating healthy. Adopting those habits as soon as possible just lets them, like I said, it just makes them part of who you are, your essence. So you determine your essence. I don't think it's all personality from birth. I think a lot of personality and our potential is how much of ourselves we intentionally push towards those things, right? So your teens and your 20s, while no one really expects anything from you, because they can tell that this guy doesn't really have that much to offer, that's when you can start building those things to offer, so that you are a man who's able to provide for others and yourself later on in life. Who keeps texting me? I need to start going on airplane mode when I make these videos. Wait. But yeah, your 20s aren't the best years of your life. Your 30s are, if you put in the work for it. You see, your 30s, again, if you put in the work for it, are basically like your 20s, but with more money and a stronger, better looking body and a wiser mind, which is what would lead to you having a great life that doesn't lead you down the path of self destruction. Most of us think our 20s are the best years of our lives because we are doing things that lead us to only temporary pleasure. Oh, you're going out with the homies, you're going to all of these events, but all you ever do when you're there is drink and chase women. How much, how long can you keep doing that if you're not doing anything else that would make those things sustainable? Like if you're constantly spending money on bad habits without setting up other systems in place that would help you make more money, and picking up other habits that would at least balance out those bad habits, then how much longer will it be until those bad habits of yours completely destroy you? I'm not saying you should be a nun or anything. And I also don't really advocate the balanced approach. I think the optimum lifestyle is just everything you do builds you, right? But I understand we're humans, we're flawed, we have vices. So, of course, from time to time, we are going to indulge in self destructive behaviors. God, you just have to decide how much of that self destruction is worth it, as opposed to your self construction. But anyway, that's it for this essay. If you got any value out of this, stick around for more insightful takes like this by hitting that subscribe button. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.